The ripple effect, other early glitches. When the Mandela memory re-emerged into collective consciousness in the early 2000s, it didn't do so quietly. It was like the lid had been lifted on something ancient and forbidden, something that had been lingering in people's subconscious, just waiting for confirmation. As soon as Fiona Broome publicly questioned why she and so many others remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison, thousands of people came forward. But they didn't stop with Mandela. That's when the ripple began. Because if you remembered one thing that never happened, it became almost inevitable that you'd start seeing others. At first, the shift seemed innocent enough. A logo looked wrong. A quote didn't match what you knew. But it wasn't just one or two. It was dozens. Then hundreds. Each one unsettling on its own. Together, overwhelming. One of the most famous early glitches was the case of the Berenstain Bears. Ask almost anyone born before the 2000s, and they'll swear the spelling was Berenstain, with an E-I-N. It made phonetic sense. It was consistent with German Jewish surnames. It was how it appeared on countless bookshelves across America. But today, it's Berenstain. S-T-A-I-N. As if it had always been that way. People dug up old VHS tapes and found stain on the label. They checked libraries, archives, even family photos with the books visible in the background. Every physical trace now aligned with the new spelling. But no one remembered Berenstain. And when a memory that vivid, tied to childhood reading, bedtime stories, and school, doesn't match the evidence, you start to question whether your personal past has been tampered with. Then came the movies. Star Wars fans were stunned to discover that one of the most quoted lines in cinematic history had changed. Darth Vader's "Luke, I am your father" was now, "No, I am your father." Not only that, but all known copies of the movie, from VHS to Blu-ray to digital, now contained the updated version. And yet, countless parodies, memes, and pop culture references preserve the original, "Luke, I am your father," as the commonly accepted quote. So who was wrong? The memory or the media? The effect didn't stop there. People began noticing something odd about the Fruit of the Loom logo. For decades, people remembered it featuring a cornucopia, a woven basket spilling fruit, often associated with abundance and harvest. It was so deeply associated with the brand that it showed up in parodies, commercial references, and even product art drawn by children. But today, no cornucopia, just a floating cluster of fruit. Even more unsettling was this. Professional designers who remembered the cornucopia found no official record of it ever being part of the logo, no mock-ups, no archived branding material, no trademark filings. According to corporate history, it was never there. But it was. Just like Mandela's funeral, just like Berenstain, just like Luke. That's when the collective began to realize something chilling. This wasn't a memory problem. It was a reality problem. What's consistent across all Mandela effects is this. They're not random. They strike symbols, anchors, cultural pillars. It's never your cousin's birthday or the color of your old curtains. It's Mr. Rogers' song lyrics. It's Jiffy peanut butter suddenly never having existed. It's always been Jif. It's Skechers with no T, Fabrizi with one E. These are the things we saw every day, consistently, repeatedly. The kind of visual repetition that burns itself into the mind's eye. And now, the system is telling us, we remembered wrong. One example might be amusing. Two becomes strange. But when you begin seeing dozens, and when those changes are accompanied by your body's visceral feeling that something isn't right, it becomes harder to dismiss as error. The ripple effect also moved into geography. Some people noticed that the location of continents had shifted. South America, for instance, appeared farther east than remembered. New Zealand was in a different spot. Even Sri Lanka seemed to have moved. These weren't mass hallucinations. They were detailed, map-based memories being contradicted by every modern atlas. Even anatomy was not spared. Many people remember the heart being on the left side of the chest. Medical diagrams from decades ago seem to support this. But modern anatomy places the heart in the center of the chest cavity, slightly tilted. What makes this more than forgetfulness is that thousands of people recall being taught in school that the heart was on the left, some even performing the Pledge of Allegiance with their hand over the spot that is no longer correct. What we're looking at isn't just a bunch of memory mix-ups, it's something else. If the Mandela memory was the first fracture, then everything that followed was the fallout. These glitches aren't isolated. They're stacked evidence of a reality that has been updated while some of us retained fragments from the version that came before. The implications are massive, because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Once you question one memory, you begin to question the mechanism by which memory is verified. You begin to realize that collective agreement can be overwritten, that evidence can be erased, that you can hold a truth inside you that has been surgically removed from the outside world. In a world ruled by digital archives, corporate data centers, and search algorithms, how easy would it be to shift the entire timeline by changing one logo, one quote, one key phrase, then using AI to cascade that change across every database, every media record, and every textbook? Suddenly, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a technical possibility, and the ripple becomes a reprogramming. But the Mandela memory was different. It wasn't small, it wasn't cosmetic, it was historical, it was political, it was emotional. That's why it triggered the wave. Because when something as massive as a global leader's death is up for debate, people pay attention. And when the world around them begins to contradict what they feel to be true in their core, they start asking questions that go beyond memory. This is why the Mandela memory matters. Because it didn't just reveal the first glitch. It revealed that something is capable of rewriting reality, and that not all of us received the same version of the update. So what caused the split? Was it a spiritual shift? A glitch in the simulation? A dimensional collapse? In the next section, we explore the timeline theory itself. How quantum mechanics may hold the key to understanding how two versions of the same world are bleeding together, and how your memories might be the proof that your consciousness came from a different one entirely. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11x published author, and what you just watched was only a taste of what's inside the Truth series, where we go all the way down the rabbit hole. If you're the kind of person who's always asking bigger questions, who knows there's more to this world than what we've been told, then this is your invitation to the series that was built for you. Inside the Truth series, you'll get full access to 6 mind-blowing sub-series designed to wake up your highest intelligence and decode the matrix we live in. 1. Locate the truth. Learn how to actually research, not just what to search, but how to verify, cross-reference, read declassified files, and protect your own mind from weaponized misinformation. This is truth-seeking, decoded. 2. The Mandela effect. Are we shifting timelines? Why do so many people remember a different past? We break down the most bizarre, undeniable examples of reality glitches, and what they tell us about consciousness and control. 3. Law is magic. Law is not what you think it is. From word spells to maritime law and hidden contracts, we uncover how legal systems use language like a wand, and how to stop being tricked by fine print that binds you without consent. 4. Entertainment or ritual. The Hollywood and music industries are not just for entertainment. From Super Bowl rituals to Grammy stage symbolism, we decode what's really being shown, who it serves, and why mass consciousness is the target. 5. Decoding dystopia. Ever wondered why dystopian fiction feels prophetic? In this subseries, we decode popular films and books, Hunger Games, 1984, Black Mirror, to reveal the hidden blueprints and predictive programming behind the plot. 6. MK Ultra plus mind control programs. This one gets deep. From real MK Ultra documents to modern symbolism in media, we expose how mind control operates in plain sight, and how to free yourself from manipulation you didn't even know was happening. And that's just the beginning. If this resonated with you, click the links below and join us inside the Full Truth series, because the more you know, the harder you are to control. This is your awakening. We don't just ask questions, we find answers. Let's go all the way down the rabbit hole together.